My name is Natasha. Standing on the balcony of the newly established Reed Institute for Innovations, a non-profit dedicated to carrying forward my grandfather's groundbreaking research, I reflect on how far I've come. 6 months ago, my father, Victor Reed, the once untouchable tycoon of Reed Enterprises, was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for fraud and assault. The courtroom victory was a long-awaited climax. My father, with his expensive legal team, had walked in confident for the conservatorship hearing, painting me as a mentally unstable young woman. His lawyer spun a tale of a troubled daughter lashing out at a loving family, using my secret plans to leave and my refusal to buy my brother, Leo, a luxury yacht as evidence of my supposed irrationality. But then Mr. Thompson, my grandfather's lawyer, took the stand. He calmly asked, "How can you claim your daughter is unstable when your entire corporation, Reed Enterprises, is built on a foundation of deception and theft?" My father's lawyer objected, but the judge allowed Mr. Thompson to continue. He presented the forged documents, my grandfather Henry's original lab notes, and a signed confession from a former lab assistant that my father had bribed. The courtroom fell silent as the decades-old crime was laid bare. Then came the most damning piece of evidence, a cassette tape of my father admitting to stealing my grandfather's revolutionary energy-saving technology, the cornerstone of Reed Enterprises. The judge's decision was swift and final. The conservatorship petition was denied, and the evidence was handed over to the district attorney for a full-scale investigation. As we left the courtroom, I faced the reporters and said, "My name is Natasha Reed, but the name I'm truly proud of is Henry Foster. Victor Reed is a fraud, and today his lies end." It all started in my childhood. I grew up in a grand manor in Beverly Hills, where success was the only thing that mattered. My father was a cut-throat businessman, and my mother, Isabella, was a socialite more concerned with her status than her family. Leo, my younger brother, was the golden child, destined for greatness in my parents' eyes. From a young age, I took on the role of keeping the family together. At 9, I managed the household staff because my mother was too busy with her charity galas. When I was 13 and needed help with my school project, my father simply said, "Natasha, you're resourceful. Leo has more important things to worry about." I remember winning a national coding competition, running home excited with my trophy. My mother was on the phone, arranging a party. She barely glanced at it and said, "That's nice, dear. Put it in your room so it doesn't get in the way." Meanwhile, Leo's participation certificate from a junior sailing event was framed in the living room. As I got older, I realized that my worth was measured only by what I could do for the family. I got a part-time job at a coffee shop and saved every penny, dreaming of a life away from the constant demands. But my parents saw my savings as their own. First, it was a few hundred for Leo's new racing gear, then a few thousand for his overseas internship. The turning point came when I was 18. I received a letter from my grandfather's lawyer. He had left me a trust fund, not a fortune, but enough to start anew. My parents were furious. At dinner, my father declared, "That's family money. It'll be used to secure Leo's future." Leo smirked and said, "You should be happy to invest in me, sis." I refused to sign over the management rights, and that's when the psychological warfare began. My mother would cry, saying I was ruining the family. My father lectured me about loyalty and a daughter's duty. Leo taunted me, saying I'd never make it on my own. I started making secret plans to leave. I met with Mr. Thompson, who assured me the trust was protected. I opened a new bank account, found a small apartment, and began moving my things in secret. The pressure at home reached a boiling point on the day of Leo's 29th birthday party. It was a lavish event, a display of the family's wealth and power. My father gave a speech, praising Leo's brilliance and future. Then he turned to me and said, "And we must thank Natasha, whose contribution will be purchasing Leo a luxury yacht." He held out a pen and the papers to transfer my trust. I took a deep breath and said, "No, the trust is mine and my future is mine." The room fell silent. My father's face turned red with rage. "Don't humiliate me," he hissed. Leo grabbed my arm, but I pulled away and said, "I owe you nothing." That's when my father struck me. I fell back against the mirror in the foyer, and it shattered around me. The pain was intense, but so was the realization that I couldn't go back. An ambulance rushed me to the hospital. In the hospital room, a social worker came to me and said we had to file a police report. For the first time, someone validated what I'd known all along. I told her everything about the years of emotional and financial abuse. The next day, my father was arrested at his office. The news spread like wildfire, and Reed Enterprises' stock plummeted. But he didn't give up easily. 2 days later, he filed an emergency petition for conservatorship, trying to claim I was incompetent. Mr. Thompson then revealed the truth about my grandfather. Henry Foster had developed a revolutionary energy-saving technology that was the foundation of Reed Enterprises. My father, who was his junior partner at the time, had forged documents, patented the technology in his own name, and forced Henry out. The stress led to my grandfather's untimely death. Before he died, Henry had gathered all the evidence, put it in a safety deposit box, and amended his will. He also had secretly sued a subsidiary of Reed Enterprises for patent infringement and won. The settlement had been quietly building up in my trust, and the balance was now over $90 million. Mr. Thompson gave me a choice: take the money and start a new life, or use it to expose my father and restore my grandfather's name. There was no hesitation. I chose to fight for justice. Now, as I watch the young scientists at the Reed Institute for Innovations working on new projects, I know I've made the right decision. My grandfather's legacy of truth and discovery lives on, and I'm finally free from the chains of a family that never truly loved me. If you're ever made to feel small, remember, your life and your dreams belong to you alone. You have the power to break free and write your own story.